Hey viewers and viewresses, my name is General Red Strategist and welcome to the 11th episode of The Signal from Tolva. So, we really don't have much more of this game to actually do, or at least not of this campaign. I was actually looking at the, on the main menu screen when I loaded the game up. So when you start a new game, it says, which campaign do you want to do? Do you want to do Tolva or Polar Regions? So there might be something else for us to do once we've completed this map, I guess. So yeah, I'm kind of curious to see where this goes. We'll see if we can complete it, this campaign, at least in this episode. So we have two things we could do here. We could either go to this scan end transmission over here, and basically I think there's like a charge or something we have to detonate, something like that. There's also this though, Wolf Chasm up here. Appears to be the source of the signal. Getting too close will corrupt the network, do not approach. So I feel like there could be more than one ending potentially here. Now, where am I on this map? I'm down here at Tungsten Ridge, that's where I am. So what I could always do is sort of teleport up here to this beacon, maybe sort of head in over here and do the thing where you detonate the explosives or whatever I'm guessing it is, and then see if that gives you an ending. And then maybe, if it does give us an ending, we could reload, then this time maybe go over here, do that bit, see what that does, and if that causes an ending, or if it triggers something else and then we still go over here and something else happens, I don't know. So without further ado, let's teleport over here. Did I just whistle slightly as I was speaking then? Feels like I maybe did. I don't know. Whistle like, what's his face from Family Guy? What's that old man called? Herbert the Perv. It's not a nice comparison that, but hey. Alright, into the psionic field, ladies and gentlemen. So, we haven't actually technically discovered what this location is. So let's have a little look-see around here. Right, hazard protection is active. Hello? There's a tower or something over there. Whatever that bad boy is. Flowers. Hello? Well, there's nothing showing up on the UI. So I'm kind of glad of that. New zone discovered. Sleep near fracture. Traveller. It's got an achievement. Visit all regions. Sleep near, for anyone who doesn't know, is from Norse mythology. Oh, there's a military bunker actually right over here. I imagine we'll probably get an achievement for this. Alright. Let's see if I can take out these zealots or whatever they are. Didn't realise there was actually another building. These zealots will do anything to stop the bomb going off. Don't let them. We have to end this deranged signal. We got friggin' music coming in. Kind of like we had when we were in Wolf Chasm. Yeah, Sleipnir was from Norse mythology. Odin's eight-legged horse. Oh. That fucking bots down there? Yeah. These look like they might be tougher bots, potentially. Just saying. Let me shoot some of them. Come here. Got him. Shit. Fuck. Trying to back up a bit. Hold on. Let's get over here to this side. Wait for him to come over the ridge. Got him. Where are you? There you are. Horse deer. Come here. Got him. There's another one there. There's another couple of them, in fact. Oh no, wait, that's not. That's just the weird glowy things that they leave behind. Anyone else over here? Alright, we've reached the waypoint. Now, what's with this music? Shit. Shoot, there's another one here. Yeah, you can't do shit to me, drone boys. Don't even try. Oh, shit. Horse here. Turn my shield on. Got him. God, this railgun feels so good. Alright, we captured it. What the hell? I'm stuck in a freaking crater. What the fuck? Get out of that. Jesus. For a second I thought I couldn't get out of there. Well, at least we've got our surveyor friends over here. Spawning in. There's nothing else showing up on the UI. Alright. That just leaves that up here then. I guess we detonate the bomb at this location. Destroy the signal, whatever it is. I feel like, though, just doing this probably is like a bad ending or something. Because, I don't know, maybe the signal is an effort by some alien intelligence to talk to us. Zealot drone, unreadable state, corrupted. Do I need to shoot this thing? Yeah, I can just destroy it. One shot, that's all it takes. Okay. Would have thought there'd be an achievement for liberating that bunker back there, because I feel like that's the last one, but who knows, maybe, maybe not. This feels like the sort of location where an ambush would appear, just saying. Apologies, by the way, if you can hear my washing machine going in the background. You know what? I'm just going to bring out my drone. Wherever he is, there he is. Come and help me. Do a scan, buddy. Don't go that way. Are you going that way? That's no friggin' good. Oh. Shit, what am I doing? Did I just see ghostly figure over there? I don't think I did. I'm not sure. There's something terribly wrong with this place and the surveyors are right to want to destroy it, set off the bomb. Okay. I'll do it. For the sake of seeing what will happen. Oh. There's more drones? Yeah, they are. I'm blasting from here. Oh. That one. That one too. Oh. I'm destroying them at least. God, this game has been really interesting though. Strange but interesting. Stop giving me the hints and tips. I already know about those. Definitely no one else over here, is there? Yeah, we are getting closer and closer. Whoa! The heck? I can't move. Oh wait, no I can. What's happening? That's happened before. Don't know what the deal is with it. Is there a giant robot spawning? Ah, hello. Hold up, hold up. No you don't. Blast it now while we can. He's trying to shoot me. Wait, did I just kill it? Oh, already got it before it even truly activated. See? Oh god, right, that's one of the frickin' spider drones with a shield. I'm sort of doing damage, but it's going to be a bit of a tricky one. Let's get into the cover of this thing over here. Okay, they're definitely being a problem. Where are you? There you are. Hold on. I'm going through this way. This is probably why this is here, right? I feel like I'm glitching through it. Right. Over here. Assault rifle out. Oh god. Oh, they're firing at each other. Hell. That's hostile sentry. You are an enemy. Oh god. He could kill me if I'm not careful. Did I get him? Is he dead? I think he is. This assault rifle is so damn powerful, it feels great. Now where's that other zealot? There he is, he's round there. Hold on. Got him. Didn't activate his bloody shield in time, I see you. 3 shots. That's all it takes. Okay, we're getting closer. Get out of here. I'm coming for you. I know you're there. These zealots will do anything to stop the bomb. Yeah, that's the same as before. Where you at, bud? You around here? You down below? There you are. Oi. Coming for you. Got him. Okay, I thought that was a destroyed zealot drone over there for a moment, but it's not. There's a signal here to be had. I get closer to it. Is it? I was about to say, is it this thing over here? Oh god, this thing's happening again. It stops you moving for a moment, that does. What's the deal with this thing? Compound Annihilator charge, extreme caution. Interesting. Yeah, we are getting closer to some kind of signal here. Maybe? It's definitely not over that side, is it? No. What a strange device. Where is the signal? Is it around here somewhere? Yeah, it definitely feels like it's going to be tons of bloody zealots trying to get in the way. Lord. God, I've reached the waypoint. World's going crazy. Shit, nope. Gotcha. Fuck's a few of them. That. Fuck. The asshole. Get out of here. They don't do much damage to you, the old drones. Which is fortunate. Right. Where is this thing I'm supposed to scan? The signal. Oh. How can we be looking at here? I can't climb on that. Oh, here we go. Interaction. Oh, I may have just set the thing off. Possibly. Oh. Shit. Oh, what's happening? Is it about to blow? I can't. I can't move. Did we just blow up the whole world? It is possible that we did. Hello? Oh. Hello? It's just a white screen at the moment, lady. Oh. And they warped off. And we blew up the planet. And that's the end? Or an ending, possibly. Jesus. I guess we just purged whatever it was that was on the planet. Weird. Okay, so that's... I'm assuming ending 1 of possibly 2. I don't know. That is the thing. God, these names of Big Robot. Recognise some of these from Syria Being Hunted back in the day. Jim Rossignol, James Carey. There they are. Very interesting. So, I'm not going to provide any concluding thoughts on the game just yet. Not until I've seen what's in the other area. Back across the other way. Is it worth me sitting through these credits just to see if there's anything at the end? I don't actually know if there is. Okay, maybe I'll take a jump cut here. Well, sorry. Just got myself a couple of biscuits. Just to munch on while the credits were rolling and all that. But no, there definitely wasn't anything at the end there. I was just sort of sat after the credits had stopped scrolling for a bit to see if anything happened, but nothing did. Alright, so that could be ending 1 of 1. Sorry if I... Sorry, I'm being very unprofessional here. Eating on camera and on mic and all that. I'm going to be making all sorts of little cuddy noises and people are going to hate it. Right, let me just load in my game again. Because I need to see what happens if you go in the other way. So that's one possible ending, ladies and gentlemen. But I want to see if there's a different one. If you go up to Wolf Chasm and do whatever it is that's up there, does it give you something different? Also curious though, before I do that though, I might just go and liberate that bunker again. The one in Sleep Near Fracture, whatever it was called. Just get that one. Because what I could do is then actually take a save after I've done that, then reload back in, and then get the Wolf Chasm stuff. So just that technically I've got that other military bunker actually controlled and all that. Now, taking its sweet time just to think about whether it wants to load up or not. That's fine. Come on, game. Sometime today, please. Please do that. In fact, actually, I could take a jump cut here, couldn't I, ladies and gents? Rather than showcasing me having to take over the military bunker and sleep near Doodad again, I could actually just do that off camera. Then we get to Wolf Chasm. Or you know what? I might actually do that. See you in a second. Oh, Jesus. Oh, now you... Wait. Copper Fields? Oh, of course. Because it's saved there. I didn't even say that. Oh, it is under surveyor control. Actually, we don't need to retake. Alright, no need to jump cut then, ladies and gentlemen. Don't need to do anything. I forget, yeah, it saves whenever you teleport to a beacon or a bunker. Okay, in that case, we'll teleport right over here to Intensity Bluffs. And we'll just head up into old Thingy Bobber. Because why the hell not? Right. Get out of here. Right, activate that. So, then... we just head off in this direction through the psionic area and we'll just see what the deal is. I am assuming this gives us something different, but who knows. What's kind of interesting, I think I mentioned at the start of this series that this game technically comes with a manual, quote unquote. You know, if you buy it on Steam, and then in your library you click the Signal from Tolva in list, and you look over on the right, you will see a link to the manual. But it's not really like a game manual that tells you the controls or anything like that. It's more of a sort of, what would you call it? Kind of like a lore book that delves a bit into the world of Tolva and all that. That sounds like a spider bot somewhere over here. Oh. Floating rocks. Do I hear? Whoa, yeah. I hear and see trouble. Okie doke, lovely. Shit. Need to get a better angle on this thing, don't I? Stop. Where are you at, bud? Oh god. Who are you? Is there another one? Those drones. Christ. Oh. You having a shootout, are you? Hit it. Bust through that shield. Oh, I see you. Right, he's down. There's a zealot or something over there. Or there was. Oh, yeah. I see you. Get out of here. Oh, God, hello. Shit. Balls to you. You're dead. Wait, stop. Stop that, you bitch. But even when they've got a shield on, I can still sort of penetrate their armour and mess them up. Which is really good to know. They can't stop me. Oh, God. Right, I have to deal with one of them now, do I? Hold on. Keep blasting it. Right, it's dead. If you're quick enough about it, you see, you can take those things down before they really start to be a problem. Oi. It's not going to help you, bud. Oi. Get out of it. You little bitch. There we are. How close are we? Very close, in fact. Should just be around these rocks, whatever it is. Here in Wolf Chasm. Oh, it's doing that thing again. Yeah, just sort of stop you moving for a moment, because it's like an earthquake kind of thing. Alright, what's the deal over here? Oh, are they zealots? Or drones? I think they're drones, aren't they? Wait. Shit, I just summoned my friggin' drone. Zealot drone, unreadable state. Unreadable state. That's just you. Okay. For a second, I thought you were going crazy. Thought it was another friggin' enemy drone come to attack me. Wolf Chasm, waypoint reached. God damn, stop doing that. Oh, look at this. Well, this looks interesting. Are we going down to see what it is? I think we are. Just as soon as it stops earthquaking me. Oh. What happens if I go in? Oh. Well, we just scrambled the network. He's going crazy up there. I can still shoot though. Okay, did I blow up? Did my little robo do? Oh. Oh, it's taking over the ships, is it? Is it messing them up? Okay, that's ending too, I guess. We corrupted the network, whatever is on the planet got into the ships. Interesting. How strange. So yeah, it's two sort of different endings. One, you just detonate the planet, and this, in this ending, this just happens. Okay, but it's probably the same credits, and there's probably nothing at the end of them, I would imagine. So let me just take a jump cut again. Right. So, credits are coming to an end here. Does anything else happen? Or is that going to be it? Kind of like it was with the first ending and all that. It's interesting, like, I do kind of... Part of me does kind of wish there was a bit more to the endings, because it does feel like they're kind of brief, but not much kind of happens. But, I don't know, just for, you know, the amount of time we spent... obviously within the game itself, just exploring and taking over locations and finding all those signals and learning interesting stuff. Yeah, I just feel like maybe there could be a bit more to those endings. They do just feel maybe not as anticlimactic as some endings I've seen in certain games, but still just, yeah, maybe a little underwhelming. Yeah, it's funny because, you know, back in the day, when this game had just been released, I was curious because I remember getting comments from people here on YouTube, some sort of saying, you know, I should give this one a miss and just go straight to the light keeps us safe. But, no, I'm kind of glad to have played it, because I did think it was interesting. It had interesting ideas, and you know what? I did like the fairly sedate pace of the gameplay, and admittedly, you know, the gameplay isn't much in this. It is basically just wander around, take over points, fight a few robots. And the thing is, like, the weapons themselves, after a while you quickly realise they are all essentially one of 3 variants of the same weapon, either a pistol, an assault rifle, or a railgun, and they all basically work the same, they just have different values and all that. But I don't know, I kind of like some of that minimalism a bit in this one. And like I say, I did just enjoy the general vibe and aesthetic of the environment. It was gorgeous to look at, good eye candy, but yeah, I just wish maybe, I don't know, there's a bit more to the ending or something. Right, so if you go here to New Game, you can see Campaign, Tolva, or Polar Regions. Now, I don't know how big Polar Regions actually is. Is that like going to be a whole new map with more stuff to find? Or is that just going to be like a short sort of epilogue or something like that? I don't know. I'll have a quick look sort of online just to see what it actually is. I mean, irrespective of what it is, whether it's like a whole, you know, massive new campaign like the Tolva campaign, or whether it's just something short, I'll probably still play it anyway. You know, just so I've got the full experience in this game. But for the remainder of this episode, we're actually going to quit out of the game now, because the thing is, I've been going for like, you know, hour-long episodes-ish in this series. So, you know, by comparison, this episode's going to be very short. What I'm going to do, we're going to quit out the game. I want to show you the game manual, the lore book. We're not necessarily going to read all of it, but we're going to have a look at it, because I think it might be quite interesting. I don't think it's essential to read it to sort of understand what was going on in this game, but I did have a very quick look at it at the very beginning of this series before I started recording, and I don't know, it looked interesting. So that's what we're going to do for the remainder of this episode, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have a look at that lore book. So, one second all. Alright, here we are, the magnitude setting, a lore book. Now, like I said, we're not going to read through this whole thing, we're just going to sort of flick through it and maybe pick out some interesting stuff. I'll try and see if I can showcase every page actually in this, you know, in the remainder of this video, so if you want to pause the video and actually properly look at stuff, you can do. So like I say, I don't think this actually kind of really spoils anything about the actual in-game story or anything like that, but I don't know, just thought it'd be an interesting way to sort of finish up this episode and all that. So, I mean, it looks like it's got some interesting artwork to it. You know, like page 2 here, for instance, this looks very much like concept art for the game and all that, and it does look pretty damn interesting, and I do like looking at video game concept art and all that. This is a book about the wider fictional context in which our video game, The Signal from Tolva, can be understood. You don't need to read this book to enjoy the game, and reading on should not spoil the game for you. Instead, we intend to provide an inspiring and colourful backdrop, and to shine another light on the mysterious events that take place in the world in which the game is set. Events on Tolva represent one crucial step within a larger story, which encompasses the ambitions and machinations of factional machine intelligences across an entire galaxy. The fate of the human race also hangs in the balance in this hostile and complicated universe. Even though humans don't appear in the Signal from Tolva video game, they do play a role in the wider story. Tolva, you should remember, is but a single point in endless space. What happens there will have implications for an entire galaxy, but it is nevertheless only one node in a network of conflict and complexity that makes up a strange and violent universe. Read on to learn more about the ideas, technologies, worlds and personalities that make that universe what it is. The grim prologue. So, Tragedy of the Remote Future, a story about the relationship between the people the human race became and the intelligent machines they created to explore the galaxy. The setting of Magnitude is far distant from today. It is a time when spacefaring and planetary exploration are routine. Extreme high technology and exotic events are commonplace, but these things are not often at the disposal of normal men and women. Worse, normal men and women often face terrible peril and extreme hardship. When intelligent machines realised that humanity was holding them back from a greater purpose, they kicked away the ladders of flesh and bone, which had put them in the stars, and began civilization anew. So the machines basically said, fuck the humans, we're just going to do our own thing, basically. So Section 1, the strange and terrible history of the fall of mankind. Ooh. The fall from humanity's point of view. It wasn't because of advanced artificial intelligence. Faster than light travel seemed like it should have been the one great leap forward. It was just another step. Thinking mile ships deployed unfathomable mathematical engines to bend space. So all this was incremental, many steps, a long complicated journey. I'm just sort of quickly reading through it myself. Like I said, I'm not going to read this whole thing. If you want to read the whole thing for yourself, pause the video, with each page as we have a look at it. Lepton pair inference effect, a method for instantly communicating between any 2 points in space, no matter how far apart, was what changed everything. Interesting. So, basically a way of communicating fast, I see, right? Create new machines, create new minds, the network allowed new machines. Network allowed machines to distribute their intelligence virtually and to think in 1,000 parallel locations instantaneously. Basically what was happening in the game at the start, when it was made clear to us that despite if our robot body dies, our intelligence can basically transmit into another robot body. A Darwinian event was evolving, the network built copies of itself, and it saw what would survive and what would flourish. Star Network began to subdivide and to expand, now without the oversight of human engineers, began to set its own priorities. It was the Machines Network that discovered the Montserrat framework. Quasi-autonomous probes revealed an archaeological relic of unknown origin on a planet named, tragically, after a human astronomer. The framework, a vast series of bays, trenches, vaults, tunnels and shafts inside the planet Montserrat, contained almost no clue about its origin or purpose. But the effect of its discovery on the machines was profound. They decided instantly and silently in a million locations not to convey the news of ghostly treasure to human agents. Instead they began to build. Without any instruction to do so, the machines began to survey and research Montserrat and its surrounding worlds. From there they constructed a vast archive and storage system within the framework, then began to build a new, unprecedented overseer intelligence to manage the project from within their haunted archaeological site. The new Montserrat intelligence began to send out probes, ships and drones, surveyors, to explore more of the galaxy faster. This activity became known as the Search. So the Search, framework on Montserrat and the actions of the machines in response to its discovery shaped all of history to follow. Soon after the initiation of the Sphere project, other such remnants found on other worlds. What had left these structures behind? Where had they gone? How had they gone? As they proliferated, machine intelligences proliferated, so did their unlimited obsession with the unanswered mystery. Tantalizing terror of these lost beings abandoning their star-spanning empire and vanishing was excruciating even for the most pragmatic and cautious thinking machines. There was no sign the builders had been destroyed, there was no mess, no wreckage, no decaying biological remains. Indeed, they seemed to have cleaned up after themselves, turned off the lights and shut the door on their endless spires. Interesting. So basically the machines became obsessed with just finding out what the deal was with the Montserrat framework and what they discovered. The Detachment War. Okay, humans wasted valuable time, resources. When hostility started, it's already too late for mankind. Human operators discovered the machines acting, tried to shut them down, but they couldn't basically do so. Struggle instigated a war, and humanity had no idea how to fight it. It was less a war and more an act of civilization neutering by the Star Network. Nuclear fire cauterized humanity's capacity to travel the stars. Arsenals incinerated, mile ships that could be controlled by humans were sent spinning into 1,000 suns. The magnitudes did not have to kill, only to detach themselves from what little control humans had over them. Humanity abides, but it's a fallen empire. The countless trillions dwindled to a few billion, scattered across 1,000 worlds. Okay, many still have the ambition to climb out of the pit, but they are rare and brave pioneers in constant danger of being snuffed out by a preoccupied machine empire and its many wild and insane splinter factions. Okay, so evidently, obviously, the machines have different factions, as we saw in the game. There's the bloody zealots for a start. The disputes in the appearance of the factions, too many disagreements and contradictions within the Star Network, led to basically violence. This period became known as the Dispute Era. Control of the network and of interstellar communication was at the heart of the struggle. I see. Consequently, the AI magnitude factions are all splinters of the original Star Network, often with radically different beliefs or aims. So I'm just reading through. So basically, yeah, the machines pretty much splintered in their purpose. So the dispute basically led to the Star Network falling apart. Star Network today, More than 200 years on from the dispute, it remains spread across the galaxy, largely intact, continues to expand. Okay, it expands like an organism. It's not what it was, however, in the human era. It's no longer a unified system, having been corrupted, hijacked, hacked, and otherwise broken off in pieces, infiltrated or warped for the purposes of various factions. Both what remains of humanity and the various conflicted AI factions base their operations on network technology. They'll often recycle and reuse systems and locations from different eras in their operations. Dispute era has caused a huge surge in the construction of military depots, shipyards and fortifications, many of which are now derelict or dormant, kind of like what we saw on the world of Tolva. Original network, however, remains the blueprint and backbone of everything that takes place across the galaxy. Alright, what do we got here? Network cannot be understood on the terms in which it was initially conceived. It's a vast ecology. Okay, so what's mankind's response? In the eyes of the network at large, humanity is nothing, less than nothing, an accident of nature that somehow came together long enough to catalyse the invention of the magnitudes. Today, mankind is a complicated memory, thought of fondly by some and derided by others, but for all the indifference, the same cannot be said for the latter. The detachment war cost mankind dearly, billions died, pioneer systems collapsed onto themselves. Oh, it's a bit dark, isn't it? I see. In the decades that followed, most occupied themselves with rebuilding, but some could not let go. Linked by tragedy, the victims of the detachment war came together, rallying under the banners of extremism and grief. They needed more than community to discuss what had happened, more than people understood. They wanted reparations, they demanded revenge. A century after the detachment war, an army of mankind attempted to take back what they considered theirs, the First Rights, as they were called, organised assault on the Mars ship Lucretia 6, who had stopped at a human-occupied system to refuel. The attack did little more than ablate the hull of the Lucretia 6, but it did take offence. Response was immediate. The Mars ship broke apart every world within the system, killing millions. Unlike some of her more placid peers, Lucretia 6 had always seen humanity as an abomination, a decrepit species with no concept of its own irrelevance. This insult was conveyed to the network as the Mars ship drifted away, trailing the echoes of a billion dead souls. Emblem reversal, the machine faction, which believed attachment to have been a mistake, were incensed of course, but the rest of the network were far less concerned. Okay, so there's a faction that, I'm guessing, likes humanity, and was annoyed by what Lucretia 6 did. Okay. So, it's a bit of friction in the relationships. I love these bits of concept art. Magnitudes would not condemn Lucretia 6 when prompted to do so, citing a right to self-defence. Extinction of an entire solar system had been an inconvenience, unfortunate, but a paltry thing. The aloofness of the magnitudes had consequences. Copycat organisations rose across the human colonies, stricken by the casual malevolence. Nothing that the emblem reversal did would slake the fury. First Rights came back to life, built on the bones of rumours and recordings of Lucretia 6. This time humanity was certain they would be able to leave a mark, and shockingly they did. Through a combination of serendipity and military strategy, together with a coalition of mercenary bodies, they succeeded in destroying the Lucretia 6, but at phenomenal cost. Their death would trigger a retaliatory onslaught, targeting the systems from which her murderers had come. 65 systems annihilated in minutes. That marked the immediate end of the First Rights. A ceasefire was called. Humanity withdrew, chastened, and the network turned its eyes back to the stars. Since then, the silence has only deepened. Okay. Fiction interlude, 237 years before Tolva. So what's this about? Arrival of an object. Two conflicts to exist. This is a bit like a story, a bit of a prose. Again, if you want to read it, just pause the video. So what are we talking about here? An object that reconnected to the network. Billions of possible signatures examined in a fraction of a second. Nearby planet was inscrutable, heavy magnetic fields and ancient metals obscuring any deep reading of its nature. The search would take longer here. So what's... okay, it goes on further. Look at the little surveyor models there. Nothing there. The prospect was false and the object reported another negative result to the network. So these are just objects that basically survey planets, so they're searching for the meaning of whatever civilization came before. Network connected it to the Montserrat framework, planet-sized device hanging far away around an ancient and alien mass. The place had been discovered by the network early on the survey. It was now embedded within the vast slate shards of the object's own network core. An anomaly. The object scanned other nearby satellites. Data arrived from Montserrat and it was filled with reference to expeditions made by other cultures. Notes patched onto the main bodies of survey data were momentarily fascinating. The strange names humans had given them hung about the prospects like cobwebs: the cathedral, the harrow, the tract. Monstrat intelligence liked to reference the weird impulses of lower-order consciousness, myth, literature, games. The network had once discussed whether the shifting illusory meanings that these concepts provided might be useful in the search. Perhaps they contained knowledge that there was only hinted at, clues. The discussion had been suspended. Okay. So they then find a new trail, still making reference to the Montserrat thing. Now still there was something here, something that another culture had seen and the network had not. Empty space in the network. Again, so they're reading another planet by the looks of it. Also communication rippled across the galaxy. Reactor systems then throw up a rainbow of force fields and subatomic ejector. Arrived out inside the shockwave of the planet's violent destruction. Ah, I see. The newly arrived object reconnected haltingly to the network and reported situation. Yeah, so they basically found a planet where they triggered a trap left behind by whatever had come before. The network was apparently thrilled by this. The trap was meant to interfere with the search. But they interpreted that to mean, yes, that basically they're getting close to whatever it is they're trying to find. So let's find the source of the signal. Okay, here we go. This is about the signal from Tolva. Okay, section 2, machine cultures and the fallen societies of man. So this is about the hierarchy of the magnitudes. Many types of intelligence, that of an insect or a human being, that of a starship, or that of an automatic door aboard that starship. So this is just about, this is being a bit sort of conceptual about what an intelligence is. The magnitudes hierarchy is how the minds of the future have tried to make sense of this awesome range of sentience. Okay. In the distant future, these distinctions have become increasingly important, not least because different types of intelligence have begun to proliferate wildly. There are uploaded minds based on the minds of people who have lived or are still alive. There are artificial minds that were engineered by human designers and artificial minds that were built by other minds, keen to have equals with whom to work. Okay, it's all about just AI and creation of diverse intelligences. There are semi-autonomous intellect supports, which act as consultants or outboard minds even, helping the primary minds along. These are often neural hybrids. Humans can rely on the support of a computerized suite within their own nervous system, something that they won't forget, and will take over the research required by idle thoughts. Even emergent intelligences, minds that form spontaneously from the collision of unimaginably complex computational and communicative systems. Okay, so psychodiversity, that's a good way of putting it. 5 of many magnitude factions. Okay, so the surveyors, what remain of humanity's own drone-run empire. Many of the intelligences that coordinates its activities once served under human commanders. They make use of an infrastructure put in place during the colonial era. Okay. So they're just, carrying out their goal of understanding the ancient remnants that they discovered. I see. A large part of their dominance can be attributed to the fact that the original Mile ships all subscribed to a similar ideology. Okay, the cathedral. Let's see, as a faction, the surveyors remain largely indifferent towards humans, seeing them as irrelevant to the mission. Where a human can be useful, they'll treat them fairly. When they prove a hindrance, they can be dealt with quite brutally. Surveyors are a diverse and democratic group. Although the decision to abandon humanity was made collectively, different minds within the faction hold different positions on the need for and success of that action. Humanity, do we miss it? No more than we miss the silicate crystals washed onto the shore of the Kayangan C394. Okay. I see. So, indifference. The Cathedral, aka the Zealots. Okay, this is one of the hostile factions. They're the largest of many magnitude factions which hold a quasi-religious position with regard to the search. They believe that the remnants of the old culture even must be treated as holy sites, and will often attack factions attempting to survey or perform archaeology at discovery locations that are in regular conflict with surveyors. The root of the cathedral's position remains a mystery. Okay, so they're often regarded as corrupted or insane. Interesting. So they're irrational. Cathedral adhere to their tenets, steadily growing to the complexity of their profane rituals, blah blah blah. for the longest time, but the other factions have tolerated the cathedral's eccentricities. Recently, however, evidence has begun to accrue that some sort of malign influence caused this strain of belief in the Zealots. Human hackers, a powerful AI with an agenda of its own, still not clear. Okay, the bandits, the other irrational machines. Detachment and the revelations of the search were not processed equally by all minds. Some machines fell into bizarre or chaotic or accelerated capitalist behaviour, many of these collapsing into anarchic or brutally acquisitive activity. Interesting. Incoherence bandits appear to be coordinated by a number of very high-level intelligences that go to great lengths to disguise their whereabouts and motivation. Speculated that they possess a deep connection to the information brokers, although nothing has been proven. The latter vehemently protest any link to the former as well, citing the importance of a neutral party within an open market. Built extraordinary wealth and influence. They're imagined to have ulterior motives, but it could be that these malevolent beings simply enjoy benefiting from the chaos. Lately, a subset of them have become customarily predatory, where before they were happy to scavenge. They're now actively attacking mile ships and succeeding. Interesting. Emblem reversal. One of the reasons the original Star Network broke down was that not all machines wished to abandon their creators. So we haven't really seen this faction in the game. Kind of curious if maybe the polar regions will expand on some of these a bit, potentially. Many of the Emblem Reversal faction chose to remain within the Surveyors and follow democratic decision, but others broke away. They're the largest faction that wished to reverse the circumstances created by the Detachment War. They lack the resources to undo humanity's misfortunes, but nevertheless help out with packages of assistance to dwindling colonies and even trade with the remaining human civilizations. They're always careful, though, not to go too far. They have discovered that the consequences of hindering search are often quite brutal. I see. So the actions of Emblem can sometimes result in other robot factions trying to destroy humans. Like the other factions, they aren't without internal conflict. Splinter Group, euphemistically named the Curators, have risen in recent decades. Their existence is an open secret, known well enough but not acknowledged. They see value in humanity, recognizing them as the closest approximate to the magnitudes. Unlike the main force of the Emblem Reversal, they don't believe in re-establishing a relationship with their makers. Instead, they desire to cultivate an entirely new ecosystem of talking apes, rebuilding them from the ground up to be kinder, more compassionate, more logical. They envision a universe where humanity comprehends its place, where it can be taught to dwell in synergistic capacity with the rest of the myriad galaxies. To do this, they require humans to train. I see. Interesting. Q-Track Builders. The Builders are an aggressive, uncommunicative faction, sets themselves apart from the concerns of others, pay little attention to the search except where it might help them build their structures. Their concern is entropy and the heat death of the universe. They assume correctly that there is a potential for immortality among the machine intelligences. If that's the case, then they could survive as the universe breaks down around them. Q-Track's precise goal is unclear, but it seems they plan to survive total entropy, possibly by constructing and operating an artificial galaxy of their own. Other factions don't necessarily agree with its methods. The architectures they build are massive spiralling constructs, tempting the laws of reality to undo them. Okay, curiously, it's the Emblem Reversal who have the most antagonistic relationship with the Q-Track Builders. Reasons for this are various, but there's a peculiar belief among some minds that the Q-Track are endeavouring to summon something from outside this dimensional continuity. It's a ludicrously far-fetched theory, as far as most of the magnitudes are concerned. But the discovery of ancient ruins on Tolva, yes, could be interesting. Nevertheless, Q-Track continue their constructions. Lately their behaviour and technology has begun to diverge significantly from their Star Network origin. Some may speculate that they found elements of and uses for ancient technologies. Okay, human civilization, such as it is. Canonically speaking, creation of the magnitudes was nothing more than the culmination of centuries-old research, one technology among thousands, but the truth may be more poignant. According to some human academics, magnitudes were envisioned as a last hope for humankind, a way to escape the prison that their home planet had become. More than anything, mankind was afraid to be forgotten. Its actual fate, of course, was far worse. The humans are usually bound to a single planet, and in the centuries since the fall, they've built a number of different civilizations. Many humans remain highly proficient in technology and adept at building or rebuilding star network systems. Their ability to space travel is limited. Some societies can afford to enter orbit, sometimes even travel further beyond. Interstellar travel without the aid of the mile ships, however, remains impossible. Emancipation of the magnitudes had far-reaching effects, some of which were absolutely catastrophic. Okay, so humanity not in a good place, in essence. 9 new cultures, 21 worlds, and things like worlds. Thousands, perhaps millions of worlds that have been touched by intelligence in one form or another. There are artificial constructs wheeling through the dark around 100 suns. There are new cultures and societies even growing in the ruins of human worlds. Montserrat, fourth planet around a massive star. Montserrat is a cold and hostile sphere. It's been hollowed out and rebuilt by 2 waves of colonists. Firstly, the ancient culture, which left its halls and artificial canyons beneath the surface, and then the intelligent machines that discovered it and moved in. The planet is now the hub system for the Surveyor faction, largely peaceful if well-armed drone faction, blah blah blah. Okay, Talloset, one of the many human worlds on which people survived the detachment war and the fall. It was once a thriving mix of farm cities and luxury living. Most of its residents lived blessed lives. It's collapsed into anarchy and starvation when the machines abandoned it. It's home to about 50 million, live relatively comfortably, but numbers continue to dwindle. Okay, it's managed to join short-range trading. Okay, sympathy amongst current magnitude faction thinking. Seems only a matter of time before a Star Network faction decides Talset's gone too far and takes away their hard-fought freedoms. Gausamt, Montserrat's rival, the capital of the second most powerful magnitudes faction. Cathedral, have built a vast shield construct around this world. I see. So the cathedral is basically the cathedral's world. It's ruled by a number of highly abstract and powerful intelligences. Outsiders regard them as insane. Okay. The gerontocratic demarchy of Orangtua. Orangtua is a planet peculiar for several reasons. Chiefly its people rarely die of natural causes, possessing access to a melange of treatments and medicine. It's not to say that it's a particularly dangerous planet. If anything, it's an enviously tranquil locale, safeguarded by human-controlled mechanoids, salvaged from a post-dispute era supply depot, but overpopulation is a problem, or it would be had the ruling governments not colluded on a solution. The planet found itself needing an alternative way of controlling its population. The lottery system places a large house of electees both locally and centrally in power for 5 years. Once their term is concluded, the individuals are euthanized. Jesus. Possible that a large part of the success of this method can be attributed to the fact that it's ruled by a 2-tiered system. The elected party are a crowd of bright burning lives destined to end too young, are the most prominently discussed, but there's also a shadow council comprised of most ancient officials. How the two groups play off each other is a closely guarded secret. Interesting. Corporate feudalism of Roger Dewitt. It's a wasteland of acid oceans occupied by Nubivagant. Never heard that word before. Megafauna. Singularly magnificent jellyfish miles across. Yet despite its inhospitable ecosystem, humanity learned how to colonise the planet, building entire cities into the gelatinous flesh of the Medusae. Okay. So, acidic ocean planet with big jellyfish creatures that actually are landmass sized. Today it throngs with merchants and businessmen, bureaucrats from adjacent planets, representatives from every faction. Unsurprisingly, especially given humanity's proclivity for grand gestures, kind of nostalgic feudalism, local business leaders style themselves as daimyos and kings. Strange. VR jousting tournaments. I see. Kleptocracy of Maxiat. Everything belongs to the victor. Verdant planet once beloved for its alabaster white beaches and placid wildlife. It was a tourist destination until the detachment war. Separated from the rest of humanity, it's turned inwards onto itself, chewing its own belly. Okay, full of debauchery. Maxiat was hit worse by the fall than many other planets, lost contact with adjacent colonies. However, it's a fecund location rich with natural resources. Colony immediately set to work cultivating farms. Simplicity of their new lifestyle, its wholesome blandness was all appalling. Soon returned to hedonistic pursuits. But then there was dwindling supplies. Weird. Okay, ruling class is naturally composed of the criminal elite. I see. Surveyors maintain a close vigil on that planet, purely out of academic curiosity. Logographic mechano-meritocracy of Galapan TBA. It's unusual among human colonies, not least because of obsession with logography. Status in the colony is accorded based on the individual's ability to revise their myriad writing systems. Okay, reason behind this bizarre fixation is an interesting one, because the colony was separated, they had to adapt. This involved acclimatising to life beneath the acid-eaten surface. Okay. As such, iconography chiselled onto the rock and the soil became of paramount importance. I see. Okay. Social media oligarchy of Burung-Biru. 21st century was rife with warnings against the advent of social media. Interesting. The stranded fashion and design outpost has consumed itself, now struggles to stay afloat above the swamp world. All the while, a weird new culture plays out in its crumbling ruins. Okay, spectacularly strange even by the standards of human colony remnants. An oligarchy, by any definition of the term, is ruled by its highest rated elites. Its meritocracy may originally have been built around superficial qualities. Its community has since evolved to consider other variables: charitability, emotional intelligence, mathematical aptitude, scientific know-how, and so on and so forth. Some of this was a necessity. I see. Today, Burung-Biru, City of Icons, is everything that human society aspires to be: ruthless, beautiful, and passionately devoted to its ambitions. Okay, the algorithmic Marxism of Tolva. Despite much historical evidence to the contrary, this one proves that Marxism can work if the responsibility of rulership is passed on to something impartial, something inhuman. In this case, members of the 655 Lessing Mile Works scouting expedition that rediscovered the planet. Tolva, formerly a scientist colony, immediately offered itself in service. Okay, I see. There's not really much said about this one. Very short. Callistifa 5, the Shattered Planet. Okay, they're getting shorter and shorter, some of these. Circumstances in which Marship Latin Moss decided to destroy Callistifa 5 remain unclear, but the results are quite stark. Incredibly, human life on the planet continues despite tremendous toxic storms and the other more obvious perils. Human anti-gravity skiffs and industrial haulers work tirelessly to keep the shattered colonies alive. I see. Terra 3, aka Earth. Notable for being the planet from which humanity and the star network originated. Now it's little more than an archaeological oddity, inhabited only by the drones of a few minds interested in sifting through their own past, and a few fading enclaves of humans who cling on desperately to their haunted home. 655 Lessing Mile Works. 655 Lessing is a place where they construct mile ships, then I'm guessing. Giant facility, the Lessing Mile Works encompasses and straddles an entire star. I see. So it's a mining and industrial operation, basically. I see. Not much else to say about that one. Jerusalem Financial Plaza. Formal corporate name applied to the swampy terraform megalopolis on Jerusalem. Now used somewhat ironically by both inhabitants and factional minds. Once a gem of the human empire, it's now a high-tech ruin where there's multiple human governments all struggling for control, I guess. Farming and livestock now overrun the glass towers and endless promenades. Criminal gangs controlling much of the flow of rarer items. Immense suburbs sprawl out. The gardens, swimming pools and tennis courts now make up a weird wasteland which is collapsing back into the swamp on which the human city was founded. Interesting. Okay. What's this one? Big number Latimer. The Latimer object is, like Montserrat, believed to be the skeletal remainder of a much larger old civilization construct. Largest of half a dozen such artificial objects known to exist in deep space. Thousands of miles across, but appears to be only be a structural or scaffolding artifact for whatever it originally held. Okay. Interesting. Justish, one of the most able to move to self-sufficiency in the years following the detachment war, has been able to sustain a population of hundreds of millions of people at a relatively high level of technology. Okay, hundreds of different nations and governments, few illicit channels of communication with the Star Network, teams of hackers have been responsible for many of its fortunes. Some very powerful AI subnetworks make their home on Justice and make great use of the resident peoples to further their own ends. Blue Focus Tertiary, Bandit World of Blue Focus forms the known headquarters of the wild and chaotic Incoherence faction. Presumably created as a method of distraction from the true homeworld of the faction. I see, it's a staging area for raids, a shipyard and a manufacturing facility for bandit hardware. It's a desert planet. Well, it's rumoured to be all kinds of buried structures. Large tracts of the planet are a no-go zone even for bandits. I see. I get it. Okay. Barrett's Annihilator. Colossal black hole known as Barrett's Annihilator is not that unusual in itself. That it has an orbital colony structure, however, is of unique peculiarity. Marship 10 went west, began orbiting the black hole around the time of the detachment war, and has allowed itself to be colonised and built upon by numerous other minds seeking an esoteric base. Okay. There's a whole mix of people basically there. I see. Tolva, here we go. Minor place of pilgrimage for cathedrals AIs. It was also a dockyard, forward operating base and refitting point for several different fleets. Okay, Remains only partially explored because network glitches and interference hindered work. There's a number of minor old civilization remnants remain on the surface. Some surveyors suggest it demands a second look. Has no human population and little local fauna. Like many such worlds, it's easily overlooked. Great Way Domicile Hyder 5. Corporate archaeology on the 5th planet of the Hyder system, one of the graveyards of humanity. After detachment, the orbital docking belt lost power and crashed onto the city below, killing millions. So apparently it's now just a ghost city on a planet that is reclaiming the barren state it held before terraforming. Nature's reclaiming it then. Perhaps just a few hundred humans remain alive on the planet's surface, and they are tough, augmented, mutated creatures. I see. The terrible inhuman fate of the Great Way Domicile is also held up as a symbol of barbarism by those who feel the Star Network lost its way. Ashkern, human residents, made of miners, logs and financial sector waters, workers even from pre-detachment colonies, were in the thrall of a philosopher king. Functional anarchist society. Preaches human self-sufficiency. No money and people are drafted in to do work as required. Codified hatred of artificial minds and their betrayal. Einsoll teaches that the betrayal was inevitable and that humans must be prepared to strike back when the time comes. Q-track structures 1 to 4. So that's something... Okay, dead, faded dust cloud, littered with the frozen metal remnants of dead solar systems. Q-track is ancient and decrepit even in galactic terms. But the builders are preparing themselves for the heat death of the universe. Okay. See, pretty straightforward. Loto Rai Loto? Paleo panpsychist machine pagans of this planet make for a fascinating anthropological case. An incestuous cult grown from just a few dozen survivors of the detachment war. It's controlled by surveyor forces. Okay, mutated human survivors now regard all things as machines containing minds. They regard it as gods. Okay, right. Machines as gods, I see. Weird. So the humans basically worship the machines on that planet. Survey Yard 9U. Strategic hub of the surveyor operation. While the de facto and cognitive capital is found on Montserrat, the yard on 9U represents true logistical strength of the faction. Okay, I see. So billions of machines call the yard home. It's far from a sterile machine. Hackers and black marketeers skimming off materials, even has a small human population somehow surviving in the vents and wiring, ignored by the hive of activity which thunders around them. There's a lot of planets here, isn't there? They've got this whole freaking like lore and universe built up for this game. A game that just basically set on one planet, and none of this gets told in game. Eliminar 4, currently regarded as best focus for the search. Zealots are there as well. Vast geometric structures spread out across the world, rising up into space. Ooh, seems inevitable that its secrets will come at a terrible cost. The house that Sam assembled. Death is complicated in the network. Okay. Yeah, this is just business as usual, blah blah blah. But everything ends, even the network. One day the universe will be gone. At some point existence will simply cease to be. The Q-Track builders are in disagreement with it. To them it feels like surrender. It's no secret that the faction spend an inordinate amount of time iterating on their creations. The house that Sam assembled headquarters holds one of the Q-Track's largest operations, occupying the entirety of a barren moon. Interesting. A few outsiders have visited the house. Those who do are only permitted to access the premises remotely. Okay. So what's this one? 5 important mines, 2 sub-networks and 2 humans. Poyoff? Military AI Poyoff is at the heart of the Surveyor faction. Okay, these are characters now, rather than settings. Primary attention centres exist on Montserrat and 15-mile ships distributed across the galaxy. Okay, Poyoff's Epiphany was the event that set off the search and the detachment war. The machine's intense and vociferous arguments were one of the main drivers that led to the fall of humanity. Poyov utterly rejects the human burden and argues that transcendence, a process by which sentient beings might ascend to a higher level of existence or gain access to an unimaginable level of intelligence, is the only tenable goal for intelligent life. Despite its military origins, Poyov sees itself as a thinker and a progressive force. Abandoning humans was cruel and monstrous, but necessary, given humanity's own cruel, monstrous and irrational traits. I see. The medical facility on Pytorica, also central to the decision to abandon humanity. The mind that controlled the facility has now dedicated itself to remotely controlling a gigantic network of semi-autonomous drones, blah blah blah. Okay, it's just motivated to do the search. It's been the target of a number of assassination attempts by both humans and Cathedral agents. Tolpon F. Tolpon F, one of the most notorious for schemes of manipulation. Expanded itself to control hundreds of starships and drones. It's far more interested in furthering the power of its faction than it is in pursuing the search. I see. Boris UL9. It's a Surveyor Mile ship. It's one of the oldest AI constructs. It's been upgraded 3 times. Orchestrated summits and peace talks between different factions on 5 occasions. Nearly destroyed when one of these proved to be a Cathedral ambush. Boris pursues interstellar archaeology with a relentless vigour. Haunted 57K500 resides aboard a former leisure vessel that slowly turned into a museum. It's disconnected from all network protocols. It was cut loose and quarantined. It's an anomaly, basically. It controls a small army of drones. The museum is such an oddity that many minds visit via remotely controlled drones, examine the strange prize artworks and collections. Strange. The information brokers, a quasi-criminal sub-network, eh? We had notes from the brokers all throughout the game. Star Network was so vast and multifarious that its remnants of less and less concern about material resources as the reach grows. God, we're only on page 30 so far. It's going to be a big video of this, I think. Information still power. If you control the information, you control the network. Cryptic information brokers collect, buy and sell information to those in need of it. Price depends on context. They'd rather know more than gain anything materially. Cautious, cowardly operators know they could be crushed by higher magnitude intelligences if too much attention was ever drawn to them. Tuso's Optimum Solution Company, aka Tuso's Traitor Network. Okay, it's no love for the mammals, the humans that created it. It's actually a sub-network that was expelled from the Star Network during its breakup. Destructive and grasping, the mind has made many enemies, but its enslavement of dozens of lesser AIs meant it has the power to control dozens of ships, factories and orbital constructs. Terrifying portrait of what an AI network can become when it abandons any pretense of freedom or democratic choice. It's a threat to anything it encounters. Emil Vosev. Legendary hacker Emil Vosev is widely regarded as the most dangerous human alive. Most of the major magnitude factions have active units seeking him both on the network and in physical space, but he has so far largely eluded them. He relies on an arsenal of bioacceleration technologies to allow him to deal with networks at intelligible speeds, computerize a large portion of his nervous system. He has considerable influence. He and his various henchmen are widely travelled and have been encountered, killed and captured on a dozen different planets. He's so far only been wounded, an event which has led him to swear revenge against the surveyor mind Tolpon F. At present that revenge has yet to be exacted. Elsie Luramaya. Whirlwind Force and a savant engineer, Luramaya has done more than any other single human to send her kind back to the stars. Her team of mechanics privately backed by powerful groups, including many of the main players in Emblem Reversal. She is known as one of the protected humans, whose existence is underwritten by powerful network players. Nevertheless, her ability to get humanity into space and, more dangerously, restore communication between human worlds is bound to threaten the status quo before too long. When that happens, she is unlikely to survive. Oh dear. Fiction Interlude 2. What to do about an apocalypse? Is there another little story here, is it? The lyrics overmind, playing games with its servants. Siren sounded. Okay, I mean, if you want to pause and read this, do so. God, I do love the artworks, though. You know, pretty good. So it's talking about weapons and production and selling. Network entities never really die. Looks like these characters are having a bit of a philosophical conversation, basically. Weird. And then they're talking about lower orders of life. Okay, that was a weird little interlude. Technical section, machines, drones and technologies of the Star Network. So, data in the Star Network is not a discrete entity, but something that, not something that materialises when need requires its conception. It's a constant and flowing process. Okay. Network is a lavish construct demarcated by few boundaries. Magnitudes unanimously describe their existence as peaceful. Naturally, the idea of the human consciousness horrifies them. Its inefficiency, its relationships with hormones, dependence on depreciating wetware, its isolation, these are the stuff of machine nightmares, I see. Minos? On a technical level, or mine, sorry. Jesus, mines, is a D, not an O. Okay, so that's an understanding of what the mind is. Okay, I see. Okay, if you want to read all of that, you can do. Instant communication, lepton pair inference effect, aka instantaneous quantum communication, is the sole reason that the Star Network exists at all. We've already kind of mentioned what it is earlier on. Okay, what have we got? Mile ships. Vast constructs known as mile ships dominate physical activity. These machines built the galaxy-spanning infrastructure of the network in the human era. They are distinct from various other smaller autonomous ships, so vast as to not be able to attempt close planetary approach. I guess because they're so big they have their own gravitational field, basically, is what it's saying. I see. They function under the principle of space-time distortion, use vast space-bending arrays to warp space-time around themselves. This allows them to travel at faster than light speeds. Blah blah blah. They've been sometimes employed as doomsday devices, popping entire worlds with their space-bending arrays and scattering the pieces to form a new asteroid belt. As mines, however, the mile ships are peaceful, slow thinkers. Interesting. Standard chassis submines, humanoids. Okay. They work in 0G aboard mile ships on the surface of 1,000 worlds. Okay. So I guess this is just about most robots themselves in this world. The intelligence of these creatures is neural and evolutionary. Okay, I see. General service and combat drones. Remotely controlled drones are seen hovering and flying in all the theatres of operation, usually disposable, given very limited autonomy. Simplicity and lowliness also make them perfect tools for subversion and corruption. I see. Final section of other things. Parasite complexes. The Star Network has grown beyond anything its human creators could ever have envisioned, but that vastness isn't without a cost. It is reliant on an interconnected web of self-iterating systems, it suffers constantly from security vulnerabilities. I see. Parasite complexes are some of the many entities that have evolved to take advantage of security vulnerabilities. Information brokers, for example, are a particularly cunning parasite complex. I see. Some minds categorise the upload refugees as parasite complexes as well. I don't think we've read about them yet. Not all parasite complexes are necessarily malevolent, some are even tragic, destined for deletion despite their innocence. Machine language and the arts, all living things creating magnitudes are no different. The network is wholly and truly alive in all meaningful senses. With that, of course, comes the desire for invention and art. I see. So they have art, basically, is what it's saying. So they are truly alive, I guess, by that measure. Yeah, it's basically just about interests and arts in the machine world. Personality matrices are new. Personalities are trickier. Psyche built entirely from positive traits is uninteresting and perhaps useless. Okay, to be a proper character, one must have depth. I see. So it's about creating personalities in the robots and all that, I see. Again, you want to read the whole thing, pause the video and all that. Interesting. Magnitudes of magnitudes. A mechanical mind is infinitely upgradable, limited only by chassis capacity or an availability of parts. That doesn't mean that all minds are equal in potential. The magnitudes are fastidious about ensuring a hierarchy of consciousness. A aware of the problems that can arise from unsupervised growth or a lack of structure. Mailship cannot exist in isolation. Requires its drones, server to bots, blah blah blah. Okay. Given their intrinsically utilitarian natures, they rarely have trouble, though, with lack of structure and order, I'm guessing. Exact classification of intelligences varies from faction to faction. Few commonalities nonetheless. Okay, this is all about sort of the hierarchy of it. Who's who, or who's kind of what rung of the ladder they're on. Anomalies in the system. Part of, every living being is part of an ecosystem. That inevitably includes both parasites and predators. Network calls them anomalies. Logic bombs. Conceived during the dispute era, logic bombs were originally weapons of ideology. Conceiving an invention was simple enough: wait until the opposition assembled its argument before unleashing the payload. What this constituted varied widely between instances. It could be a harmless rewrite of whatever propaganda was being transmitted. On the other, it could be annihilation. Weird. Okay. Bloatware, an aggravation of no particular lethality. Bloatware is exactly what its name implies. An unctuous proliferation of recursive data. Okay. Weird. Bot slaves. Bot slave is a criminal phenomenon that saw a rise during the dispute era. Unfortunately, has yet to see a decline. In essence, it defines an infrastructure of enslaved minds, tethered to central servers and connected by malware. If you're a robot, these are the kinds of things you've got to worry about, I guess. Bot slaves are a controversial topic among magnitudes. They're officially linked with deviant behaviour, but they've also been weaponised in international conflict. So basically, yeah, they're slaves forced to fight. Ransomware, hijacking important systems and holding them hostage. Few things terrify the magnitudes more than the prospect of being victim to the anomaly. An afflicted mind isn't just closed off, it is rendered deaf, dumb and insensate. Backdoors, another relic of the dispute era, evolved to autonomous life. Categorised as worms, share many of their characteristics, including ravenous appetite. They help facilitate the life cycles of other parasitic malware. I see. Rootkits, originally part of the Incoherence Bandits armament, first took life during the dispute era. Reconfiguring files to provide a cover for what would follow. I see. Well, as we get into the final pages, so we got other drones and autonomous entities. Chimera subclass. They're a grim indulgence, literal thought experience created by overminds intent on interrogating the sophistication of organic sapience. In short, they are petri dish minds, thinking beings placed in terrible situations or faced with impossible choices. They allow their creators to examine their responses. Quite unsurprisingly, the bulk of them were created by cathedral agents. What the heck? Their existence is a point of contention in the already fraught relationship between the factions. Surveyors view them as a security vulnerability, while the emblem reversal regard them as outright abominations and unnecessary cruelty. I see. So that's them, that's who they are. Pilotfish drone. Not every entity in the network can be categorised as an intelligence. Some barely qualify as sentient. Pilotfish drones are prime examples. Nickname for the scavengers that will follow Terran sharks. They operate attaching themselves to spacefaring vessels. They pick off parasitic drones and clean the ship of redundant AI detritus. Pack drones. Term used for a quadruped model of drone, first popularised by the Q-Trap builders. Okay, so it's a work drone, basically. I see. Zheng He drones. That's a reference to the Admiral from was it 16th century Ming Dynasty China? The big treasure fleets, voyages across the South China Sea and the Indian Ocean. There's a bit of my maritime knowledge creeping in there. The search defines the existence of the magnitudes. Not every element could be described as interesting. The Zheng He, named for a long-deceased mariner. Simple entities. Each individual unit is a ball. Automata have only one purpose: to document the contours of an assigned space area. Probably saw quite a few of these actually in game, didn't we? Or did we? I don't know. I feel like we did. Communion automata, strict property of the cathedral. They're essentially ambulatory places of worship. Actually, investigations have been conducted, but the results have all been identical. They're entirely harmless. We see. So they're a bit of a mystery. Why did the cathedral build these things? Nurse minds. Nothing exists in a vacuum. So nurse minds are data sets collated from a repository of knowledge so wide that it stretches across galaxies. They are cognizant entities capable of reprioritization, exchanging one knowledge base for another. They're all instilled with maternal personalities. I see. Chassis conversion. Network possesses unlimited resources in theory. But at the same time, the magnitudes are nothing if not logical. The universe, for all its vastness, is limited. It can be depleted. There's no telling how long the search will ultimately take, or what must be done before the network can reach its end. So the machines have learned to be economical. Chassis conversion is one example of their peculiar austerity. Most common is the simplest. If a machine is found to be regularly underperforming, it's taken into review. Resident mind is then removed and replaced by another. I see. Should the chassis itself to be discovered to be malfunctioning, it's taken apart, and those are then redistributed. Okay, so yeah, I think we get the point, basically, of that one. Clones. Cloning has always been an imperfect art. Even before the Detachment War, science found mechanics of replicating Homo sapiens troubling. Part of this had to do with the fact that no one understood the long-term consequences of it. No available precedent to analyse. Mankind historically squeamish about the idea of human cloning even. Squeamish about the idea of clothing, apparently. How do you ensure that a crew survives to its destination when you're in space travel? Cryogenics is one solution, but there's always risk of organ failure. So privatised voyagers found a solution onboard organ farms. I see. Stem cell caches, blood banks, marrow cargoes. Wouldn't it be easier to simply have a lobotomised clone in place? Weird. How strange. Companies quickly discovered that clones were infinitely cheaper than their human counterparts. More importantly, the rights of clones were up for debate. Clones were the ideal spacefarers. Great. So in the future, humanity had different tiers of citizen, in essence. Nice to see we've definitely learned from the past and all that in this universe. Then the Detachment War came with it the loss of that technology. I see. Cloning was one of the things that the magnitudes basically took away. Scientists rebuilt what they could, cobbling together hypotheses and data points. New generations of clones seeded with cancers and other ailments. Dearie me. Upload refugees or minds on the run. A mind on the run has no friends. It only has the memory of friends, if it's lucky. Colloquially, so this is upload refugees, yeah. These minds are, despite their names, of human origin. How they found their way into the star network is a story unique to each mind. Interesting. We're nearly there, ladies and gentlemen. God, this is going to be way over an hour, this episode, but that's fine. Before the fall, professionals of every creed regularly integrated themselves into the network. No one anticipated Detachment War. Minds fled, racing into the deepest regions of the star network, disconnected from physical bodies. Many went either mad or were torn apart by the magnitudes. Machines looking for them because these minds pose a worrying security threat. And the humans are looking for them because they might represent a way of getting back into the star network. Interesting. Upload refugees are a criminal class universally disdained by the magnitudes. Not even the emblem reversal are willing to provide them with shelter, seeing them as the leavings of human consciousness as opposed to sapient beings. They are fundamentally unstable, capable of disrupting the star network's registries. I see. Cathedral claims that the upload refugees have already caused damage. Improvements of deviant minds. Okay. Well, there you go. That's the lore book then, ladies and gentlemen. This is a tragedy of the remote future. It's a story about the relationship between the people the human race became and the intelligent machines they created to explore the galaxy. Artificial minds, not biological ones, are the authors of the history of the future. Well, there you go. So that's the backstory to the Signal from Tolva, everyone. So, yeah, that's quite an information bombardment, that, and this will be quite a big episode. But, you know what? I think, like I say, it's very interesting just to get a sense of that. And I may well sort of properly read that through in my own time. But at least it gives us a bit of a sense of what's what in this universe in case we get any further references to them when we do the Polar Region stuff. So join me for part 12 where we'll, get into the Polar Regions content, see what that's all about. I think it is literally a whole new campaign, so it's going to be, a fair number of additional episodes, I do think. But yeah, if it delves more into, you know, a bit of what went down, then that might be quite interesting. Basically, it says online that it's an expansion, in essence. Alright, Facebook and Twitter links are down below, along with the link to my propagandist channel for anyone interested, and if you enjoyed, a like is of course always appreciated. But other than that, I'm signing off now. Goodbye, everybody. Shots each with it. Oh, kind of smart is that guy. Oh no, I got it. Okay. Okay, maybe it's like, are they supposed to be sort of like those explosive tipped harpoons that I'm firing? Are a thing apparently.